We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Welcome back to These Unprecedented Gays, your go-to podcast for all things queer, where we unpack the nuances of LGBTQ plus life in these unprecedented times. That is not
knock it out.
That's a secret sauce.
We'll workshop that too. We've already started recording, so I'm Paul.
And I'm Joe.
And we're These Unprecedented
Well, you got
Gays.
pink paper.
I know. I like made little notes while I was at work. And Kurt, if you're listening to this, I did not do this at work.
Did you ever when you were a kid, did you ever get sent home with a pink slip? Because when I was younger,
fired from school.
No, it wasn't. Isn't a pink slip's like a car registration? I think.
Yeah, that
right?
was the ownership, your registration.
We got I never got one because I was a good kid, but my brother got a lot of them, and they were like, if you got sent home with a pink slip, it was like you did something wrong, and you had to have your parents sign it.
Oh,
so I saw that pink piece of paper, and I was like, what did Paul do wrong? And what did you have to sign, Andy?
Catholic school used to be bad demerits. You got demerits, good demerits, and bad demerits.
We had a DR.
Bad
I forget what it
demerits
stands
is my
for.
drag name. So anyway,
Otherwise known as Bad Dem.
Exactly.
Betty girl.
All right, so I'm Paul.
You said that already.
We did that right.
Oh my god!
At least
I have out of practice. I was like, let's grease these wheels,
At
baby.
least you said it was your name this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there were a couple. You're like, I'm Joe, and I was like, are you though?
Are you though?
We can all be Joe.
Yeah, if you try hard enough, we can all be Joe.
No, don't do it.
No.
We have enough. One is enough.
Yeah.
One is enough. Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride.
Hi, gay.
It's our special Pride episode that we do every year. For those of you who are new to our podcast, we are located in San Diego, and California has a lot of Pride events that happen in the month of June. So San Diego does theirs in July to be different. Okay. Not that it's cooler or anything, it's just a different month.
I always wondered, is it because there's so many other prides?
It's scheduling, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's Long Beach,
I think
LA.
I think it's more like a June gloom thing. It's so gross in June, but in July it's
Well,
great.
July fry, really.
Yeah,
But I don't think there's enough.
I think you're right.
I don't think there's enough weekends in June for all of the Southern California.
So it all works out, really.
Yeah, it all works out because there's other cities that do it in different times of the year. So
And we know that the best part about that is that all the Pride merch goes on clearance before.
I know, so we all get our Pride outfits.
I think there's like 50 prides
And
in
we have
California.
all of our Pride party gear, so all the plates and napkins and everything.
You have plates and napkins?
I do, girl.
Okay, Miss Rainbow.
Okay.
Under Armour's on clearance right now.
Oh, see, yeah, everybody puts their stuff on clearance. Because they're like, okay, bye, gay. Like, I gotta get rid of this
In
shit.
July.
I'm not gay no more.
Right.
I haven't seen any of the sales. Should I, what'd you say,
I
Under
love
Armour?
Penguin as well.
Under Armour Penguin's got a big sale right
What's
now.
Penguin?
Oh, I love Penguin.
Brand, the shirt
Yeah, it's a brand.
Oh, like polos?
Yeah, they do like polos,
they do
t-shirts.
shorts, they do all
Do they have
kinds of
rainbow polos?
Yes, they do.
Not like full on rainbow. They're like it's like
Is it like a tasteful rainbow?
tasteful, yes.
Not Skittles taste of
It's
rainbow.
like DL rainbows. Okay, it's like in the collar and like
or like
on the
the
sleeve.
like
little
emblem
emblem.
or whatever.
The penguin is a spectrum of colors.
Yes.
Oh, those are cute.
I have the I have like one where it's like Rainbow Pride, but it's just different penguins.
Oh.
And yeah, I love that. So anyway, so this is our Pride episode.
Yay.
So what are you doing for Pride?
I will be watching the parade.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's it.
I think
From home or actually on the street?
undecided. I did get that huge hat. It hasn't been delivered yet. So, was that this past weekend that we saw you
Yeah,
guys?
this past
You've been
weekend.
on a quest for a giant
So,
hat.
okay, for the listener out there, I want such an obnoxiously large hat to wear because it's safe for sun and I'm obnoxious. And so there's one, I think it's like 3 feet in diameter, which I'm like, yes. So I want to wear that in public, and I think that would be my ideal to go out. But we're close enough to walk to the parade.
Yeah.
So I'm maybe just walk and just kind of hang out for a little bit, and that's it.
Okay.
So that's my only plan. I will not be bar hopping. I will not be partaking in festival activities or parties.
You're not going to go to the festival at all?
No, ma'am.
Not even
I can't get in. I can't get in for free.
Oh, okay. Because it's like Diabetes and Nifia Win and all of them are going to be there.
Do you have free tickets?
No.
We bought our tickets. So.
Oh, how much is it? It's $20.
No, it was like 35 or something. It wasn't a lot.
The gall.
For both
The
days.
gumption.
The other part of
Audacity.
it. I was like, there's another part. It's $35
For the whole weekend.
for.
For both days.
When did it get to be that $35?
It's about the same.
It's about the same.
Has it always been $35?
Joe just goes for free, so he doesn't actually know.
No.
He's always trying to get it for
He takes
free.
his shirt off and he goes
When the chorus used to sing, we would get a free
Yeah.
entrance in for the day. So for like the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years.
You've gone for free.
Except COVID time, so 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And then last year I assisted Nick,
Yeah,
and
you
so
were
he was there.
helper at Nick's booth.
Right.
Yeah, and
so
so-
you've always gone for free.
For free. But then before, when I was in college, I would do the student discount, which was I think like $5.
Okay.
Which just means take your shirt off.
Yeah.
No, it was like you showed your student ID,
And they hand out the Jello shots.
Yes.
which I still have my student ID from UC Riverside. It is like almost 15 years old at this point, but like I could say that I'm a continuing PhD student. How will they know
How would they know? How will they know
that I'm not in school? I'm 15 years older. That is true. So that's my plan. What are you going to do?
We're always learning.
Andy is leaving this weekend, so I am going to go by myself and go to the pool party, the kickoff Pride pool party at our friend's house.
Oh yeah, we're doing that.
Yes.
We'll be going, yes.
And then we're going to go to the festival when he gets back on next weekend.
We've
And
got
then,
other things like we have a breakfast with
oh god,
LGBT.
Pride Day is like, the day of the Pride Parade is like so busy because like we have breakfast, we have brunch, we have the parade, we have a party.
Okay,
we
Lady
have a
Gaga.
lunch.
Another event.
We're
The worst thing is, we used to live in the hood. We could
Yeah.
walk home and take breaks between those events. Now we're like, oh, that's a lot.
You gotta rally. You gotta get your your crossbody bag.
I know.
We're gonna park by your house, I think, if
And
we
walk
can,
up?
and
Okay.
walk up or Uber up to the events, and then
Yeah.
eventually,
Yeah.
when we're at the festival, can just hop
I
home.
just remember that last year, the guest that we haven't, it's here, that we haven't introduced yet, that you ended up walking it with
Oh,
the guest last
yeah.
year.
I did.
You held the sign.
I did. I'm too busy to do that this year.
Wait, is the parade's on a Saturday?
Yes, it's on a
So all
Saturday.
that stuff you're doing you got a lot of shit to do,
We got a
bro.
lot of shit to do on Saturday, girl.
How many?
DC, are you in the parade? Oh yeah, no responsibilities.
Amen. So you're a busy
Yeah,
girl.
we're busy beavers. So,
A beaver.
with that being said, and we went to Disney after dark for Pride Night again.
And there wasn't any gastrointestinal distress.
Oh my God, it was so
I know. Thank God. Nick kept it in his pants.
Oh my God. We actually had fun.
He actually could be a part of the group with us.
And bonus, we got to ride some of the rides.
And we got to
did.
ride Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
We went to Olga's Cantina.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
Space Mountain.
We did Space Mountain.
That one messed me up.
It really
Space
did.
Mountain?
It messed up my back.
It messed up my back.
I'm too old to ride Space Mountain anymore.
Put your face on that.
No. That was the Matterhorn.
What I've learned about Joe
Both.
is that Joe knows, even though he's like, he'll downplay the fact that he knows where every camera is and everything in every ride.
Absolutely. I don't downplay that. Are you kidding me? I upplay that.
He knew exactly where the camera was with Space Mountain.
Absolutely.
Which, actually, that photo, I wish you would share. Have you shared it on the internet?
I've shared it on the internet, yes.
Yeah, the photo of you.
But I will put it back up again.
Oh, yeah.
It's like we shared yours, but then you went and shared ours, which was not so pretty. Paul looks miserable. I look like I'm holding my breath, but
Oh, it was the best.
Wait, I'm going to look at it again.
And then
Oh,
and
God.
then it was like,
Well, do you have it up? Let me
just
show.
show it. All right. Like that is.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The best part, The people behind you were living their lives.
I know. So I ruined their picture for that. So I'm sure
I'm good.
I'm sure that's giving you life, but maybe you have other stuff for.
Girl, I have like 5 things.
Okay, from mouth to mouth. Mouth to mouth resuscitation. So should I go first because my list is shorter?
Sure.
Okay.
Mine's uneventful though. So
your
do you?
list is a grower though.
But like mine are really boring.
Mine's a grower, not a shower.
I feel like yours are always more fun than mine.
Okay, well I have 2 off of Netflix. The first thing is Supercell. I don't know if you've watched this, but it's a show out of Great Britain, the UK, and it's about people who discover that they have superpowers. But it's an entirely POC cast. Love it. It is great. And but it is one of those where you have to have on the closed captioning, and even then you barely understand what they're saying unless you
Is it because they have such a thick British accent?
Well, it's thick British accent, and they use a lot of British slang. So if you don't know what they're
it's
talking
hood
about.
slang in Britain. I mean, it's hard enough to understand hood slang in the U.S.
Oh,
but,
right.
Like, they'll just throw a word out, and it's anyone's guess what they meant.
Right. Yeah.
So you have to be very into
in
it
know,
when you watch.
But it's a great show.
It's not a Nick show where he could be doing other things.
Right.
Oh, you mean watching 12 seasons of Suits in the background?
9.
The other one is another show on Netflix. It's called The Boyfriend, and it's a dating show out of Japan, and it's all guys, and they all live together, and they have to work together on a coffee truck. But it's also cool because as you're watching this, you don't realize until they get halfway through the first episode that there's a group of people watching it as it happens. So you have hosts for this show. But they're watching it as you're watching it, and they're commenting on it. It's a very Japanese thing to do with game shows out there.
Is it subtitles as well, or is it dubbed?
Yes.
Okay.
It's subtitled and
dubbed.
Oh.
So it's really cute. It's I think it's just adorable.
So,
and if you like Asian guys, I don't know who. I mean, if you're a rice queen, it's definitely your kind of show.
You can say that, Paul.
It's a little bit slow moving, but it's sweet and sincere.
Yeah.
It's not like these guys go out to a strip club, but it's like they're all sitting at their table having little tiny drinks. Nobody's getting crazy.
So they're very demure.
And it is not an American dating show at all.
So it's good.
Right. Yeah.
It's not Love Island or whatever it's called.
No, it is not.
I don't think that's
People
I
don't
think
get
that's a
into.
show.
They're not trying to give each other STDs in the hot tub right away. They're
Right
not
away.
getting into.
They're waiting until
arguments.
episode 5.
Exactly.
They're like, here's your gonorrhea now.
My other thing is, I've talked about Dots pretzels before, the original, but now they have honey mustard flavor, and they're one of my faves. I am obsessed with these things.
I
They're
remember, are they... I'll have to try them.
delicious.
There's there's another brand. They're the pretzels, the honey mustard pretzels. Do you know what I'm talking about?
These are so much better than those.
Snyder's.
Yeah, Snyder's.
Oh, yeah.
So much better than Snyder's, I think. So,
Sorry, Snyder's.
those are my things that I'm obsessed with.
Ooh, that's good.
I know.
It's
What
a
are you
sweet
obsessed
honey
with
mustard.
Besides
Dots,
my
we will sponsor.
Dots.
Wow.
We'll take sponsorship.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a theme to mine, and it's food and teeth.
Okay.
So I have been really interested lately in caprese salads for whatever reason. I it's a perfect summer meal, like a caprese sandwich, because it's cold and fresh, and so that led me down the path of maybe I can grow tomatoes on the balcony, which I won't be doing.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of effort. And then that led me down another path of, maybe I could grow basil on the balcony, which I also won't be doing.
Okay.
But I was obsessed with looking into how to do all those sorts of things, and then basically the summary is I'll just buy the stuff from the grocery store. Okay. And then what also has given me life is, I know again it's stupid and nerdy, but I got a new toothbrush, a new Sonicare toothbrush. You'll like this because you work in oral health ish, right?
I will say I was obsessed with my new
water
Sonicare water pick.
Right. Well, so I haven't gotten a new toothbrush. The Sonicare they last forever.
Right.
So I was
fell off the truck.
what do you mean it fell off the truck?
I got a really good discount on mine because I bought it straight from the vendor.
How do you do? Sir?
He
Yes.
works surgery. He works in circles of surgery.
Yeah.
Because they're expensive.
They're kind of expensive, yeah. That's why I'm
They're
like,
real expensive. Like, it was like $100. And I was like, thankful I had a gift card. But it does a great job. So, Sonicare electric toothbrushes, the way to go.
Okay.
So it will help me get out the basil in between my teeth
Oh, there you go.
from my caprese sandwich.
Yeah.
And that's what's giving me life.
Oh, I thought you said you had 5 things.
Well, caprese sandwiches, learning how to do tomato
Oh,
harvesting,
you grouped them all
learning
together.
how to do basil harvesting.
Oh, okay.
I guess it was 4, sorry.
Okay.
And then the toothbrush.
Well, that's a good thing that you were talking about caprese salad and eating because now it's time for, but does she eat?
Oh, yes.
Do you have one?
No.
I do. Okay. Just because
I don't know what's going on in the world. So you remember,
Okay.
you're my connection to society.
Well, okay, so Katy Perry just released a new album and single.
Oh, is that today?
yes.
Woman's
Called
World, right?
Woman's World.
Okay.
But it's about empowering women, and I think that's great. But it was produced by Dr. Luke,
Oh, no.
who
Isn't that the Kesha guy?
Yeah, the guy that who produced
Sexual
Kesha
allegations, right?
Yeah, sexual allegations and
I thought he didn't. I thought he like quit after that whole thing.
no, but he wouldn't release her from the contract either until like a way later when the courts.
Oh.
like, but yeah, so it's very like weird for people to like listen to this, but then also know that it was produced by Dr. Luke. So it's like, and I'm like, and the song isn't that great.
I was just gonna say, is it good?
But I will say the video. There's a video out of like her and like all these other like strong pop women like Ariana Grande, Madonna, Dua Lipa as like characters from comic books.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's actually really kind of fun because Madonna is like Emma Frost from
Madonna's in the
X-Men.
music video as a comic book.
And just a face. I don't know if it's a music video, but it's like a video that somebody put together or
Oh,
something.
AI.
Yeah, probably AI did. So anyway,
It's free. Yeah.
I don't think she ate though.
I didn't.
She's still starving. She didn't eat.
That makes me sad because Katy Perry. I do like Katy Perry.
I like Katy Perry too. I just feel like lately she's been trying so hard.
Well, I don't even remember. I can't think.
I mean, the
off top
last
of
song
my
I
head.
liked from her was like Swish Swish.
Oh,
You know
that's a
what?
good
She got to
one.
marry Legolas, so she's always going to be the winner.
Okay. She what?
She's always going to be the winner because she got to marry Legolas.
Orlando
Oh,
Bloom.
there you go. Yeah.
My favorite song by Katy Perry is "Last Friday Night" with Missy Elliott.
I was gonna say the remix. That or "Birthday the Cash Cash" remix is very good. Oh, okay. Well, Dr. Carlton, who is our multi-hyphenate and our multi-hyphenate
Dr.
guest.
Carlton.
So he is a gastroenterologist.
Oh, I was like, where do we go with
He
this?
is a sexual advocate.
Oh.
He is a gay advocate. He is a podcaster, an influencer. He probably can dance.
She's a model. Did she
She's a
stone
model.
those tights?
She's a. But Dr.
You look like
Carlton
Linda
is here.
Evangelista.
And are you a Chaperone
I'm a
fan?
huge Chapel Rowan fan.
Do you think she eats?
She eats big
Wait,
time.
who?
Chaperone,
Oh my God,
I
honey.
told you
We've got
about
some
this.
education to do.
Oh no!
She is. I'm obsessed with her.
Wait, is this the
This
girl
is the
drag
lesbian
queen?
drag
Yeah.
queen.
Okay.
Yeah, she's incredible.
And I will say, like, she's done a lot of stuff that makes me like really like her because
I thought her name was
she's
Chappelle.
very. Is it Chapel Rowan?
Chapel
or
Rowan.
Chapel-
CHAPELLE, right?
Chapel
Yeah.
Rowan.
I didn't realize it wasn't Chappelle.
Well, Dr. Carlton says that she eats, so she must.
She must.
She's my obsession. You're talking about your obsession.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
so one is my obsession right now. I am totally in love with her album. I went down a rabbit hole the other night on YouTube watching everything she's ever put out
Tiny
on
Desk
YouTube.
concert is really good.
The whole everything is just great, and to have a lesbian singer out who openly sings about her sexuality,
Right.
is. And to be like on top of the world right now, she had like 68 million listens on Spotify.
Well, and not only that,
Damn.
but like she dresses like she's a drag queen.
Yeah,
she is a drag queen.
She gets her outfits inspired from drag queens, from club kids, from
Cosplay.
from Broadway shows and
Yeah.
cosplay and everything. And she has a different look for like almost every song, and it's just incredible.
I'll have to listen.
Okay.
Her
Pony
album.
Club. Pink Pony Club is huge right now. People are making memes like crazy.
Well,
about
and
it.
I love the name of her album, "The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess."
Yeah.
She's from Missouri. Yeah, so she started 10 years ago.
Okay.
And Troye Sivan actually tweeted 10 years ago, I'm obsessed with Chapel Royal. Well, her name was different back then. So Kaylee something or other. But he was obsessed with her. She got a record deal right away in high school and then fell off the face of the earth because the record deal kind of went sour.
Uh-oh.
So now 10 years later, she's on top of the world.
I'm still on the math. 10 years ago, Troye Sivan was not older than 13.
Yeah, no, I think I saw Troye Sivan 10 years ago in Oakland when he barely started performing. I think he came out in, I think, maybe 2012, 2013 with Blue Neighborhood.
He is eating pretty much
He's 29.
But this was before he felt the rush.
He just looks 23.
He was just blooming.
I like original Troye Sivan.
You like what?
The original, like, really, like, sad, like, mopey gay boy Troye Sivan.
Okay. Instead of the club kid.
Oh, yeah. I like him. I like him in his Adele era.
My favorite song of Chapel Rowan is "My Kink Is Karma."
Oh.
So it's basically she's in love with this person who dumps her, and then she basically almost does like a masturbation scene through the thing about all the bad things that's happening to her.
Interesting.
Maybe I'll start listening.
It's really
Is that what is your playlist for safe for work?
That is not
Would that be safe for work? SFW.
Depends on what kind of work you're doing. All right, so Dr. Carlton, thank you for coming on Pride because we love. It's like an annual thing now. When we have our Pride episode. We have Dr. Carlton on. So, tell everyone what you've been up to, what you're doing, what's happening with you.
Since last year, first of all, I got to give you props. Last year, you saved my ass big time. I was Hero Pride last year for San Diego. They didn't tell me I had a huge banner that people had to carry. So I get to the parade. I've got my guys dressed up as hot muscle bear nurses to hand out all my goodies, and my husband's supposed to ride with me in the convertible, and then I have no one to carry this banner. So I frantically text people. The only person who responded was Paul. He goes, "I'll be there in 5 minutes."
Yeah.
And he was down there, and he carried that banner meant for 2 people by himself. And this queen twerked her way down.
He did.
He was everybody,
And the entire way, like
he was twerking, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, okay."
and it's almost like 2 miles. It's like a
It's
decent.
like a mile and a half, 2 miles. But then he did pay me back by letting me go to Taylor Swift in his place.
So a little later in the year, my daughter calls me and says, "Dad, my friend's got Taylor Swift tickets. Their face value and they're in California. Can I get the ticket?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll Venmo you the money. You can pay your friend." And then 15 minutes later, I'm like, "Wait a minute, where's this concert in California?" "Oh, it's in Santa Clara." And I'm like, "Honey, Santa Clara is 9 hours away from San Diego."
Oh no.
Not much on the geography.
Oh, that's neat. But I know California.
She goes, "I can just take a train. It'll be okay." Honey,
Girl,
there are no trains to Santa Clara.
No, ma'am. Mm-mm.
So we sold her ticket for a buttload of money.
Okay.
And
Face value.
face value plus $1. And then out of the blue on that Tuesday before the concert, like the next week, I get this really strange text message from Ticketmaster saying, "Hey, Taylor fan, I know you're disappointed that you didn't get tickets on the first round. We've got the availability for you to get 4 tickets right now if you go to this with this code." I'm like, this has got to be a scam.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
But I'm like, screw it, I'm going to do it anyway.
Oh, you did it.
And I went, and I got 4 face value tickets for the SoFi Stadium concert in LA.
Nice.
And so my daughter and her best friend, and my husband had to drive, and I had an extra one left. I'm like, who this year has really stepped up for me? Paul. I'm like, "Paul, do you like Taylor Swift?" He goes, "Yes."
Sure. I do now.
He loved it.
So Paul went, bless his heart, Paul went with my husband and 2 teenage girls to go see Taylor Swift in
Sounds
LA.
like a dream.
That's
for
funny.
Paul.
We were at a play down in PB, and Paul was with us when he got your text, and he was like, it was almost Survivor Guild. Like, should I go? Would it be okay to go? Is it okay to want to do this?
It really was.
No, I want to say yes, but I should say no. No, I can't do it.
Wait, was I there? No.
But you did get to go to see Kylie at her residency in Vegas.
Well, Kylie in Vegas was something that I built up for so long. I'm so obsessed with Kylie Minogue. We paid $650 for 2 tickets at a tiny 2-person table right up front. So we were literally 10 feet away.
And that's just tickets to get in there. You also have to like...
That's the trick. So then they make you pay $650 table service.
Right. Do you get fed?
So $650.
You have to spend for alcohol and food.
At least $650.
Guaranteed minimum.
Between 2 people.
Guaranteed minimum. So I'm like, how am I going to spend $650 at a table? I don't really drink that much. So we sit down at the table. A bottle of champagne that I can get at Vaughn's for $55 was $550.
Well, there you go.
A 4-pack of 6-ounce Cokes was $35.
Oh my gosh.
Those little tiny cups of ice cream, the little tiny 4-ounce cups.
So what'd you get at lunch at school?
Yeah, $25 a piece.
Oh, Kylie.
It was not love at first sight.
So we get there, and the standing room only general admission tickets are literally the back row of the place. Everybody's just packed into the back, and then everybody else has their tables. And they had some weird Cirque du Soleil shit come out first, and
she's not a fan of contortions.
But it just didn't make any sense, And then Kylie came out and performed for a couple of hours, and it was great, and I loved it, and had a great time, and she was out in the crowd, and it was an amazing experience. But it was expensive.
I'm sure it was.
We were looking. They were because you guys were trying to
I was trying to get 4 tickets.
At the same time he was, and so both of you were doing it, and we were looking. Those guarantees go up there pretty quickly. You had tables of 10, and you had to basically commit to
10 people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, but it was a great experience. We got to go to the Sphere for the first time, and that was a neat experience. Okay. It's kind of a 4D kind of place to go see something.
Oh, you went inside of it?
Did you do the Sphere experience?
We didn't do. We did the Sphere experience where they do this Planet Earth show.
Yeah. So did you get noticed? Did you get people recognize you, Kylie?
I had people that recognize me, Kylie. I mean, usually when I go to something gay, and that was
that was gay.
But I gotta say, it was ugly gay. The people there were not pretty. It was not an attractive crowd.
Ooh, okay. I love that. I want to use that. Oh, that's ugly gay.
They were affluent.
They were affluent, but they did not spend their money at the plastic surgery center.
They were a Thursday gay on a Saturday night.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was not pretty gays at all. And so, and that's the thing when I go out now. It's like, if it's a gay event, at least a couple of people are going to notice me or say something.
Right.
And it's kind of sad that I've gotten so spoiled now that if somebody doesn't say something, I'm like,
oh,
what's wrong? What's wrong here? Why don't these people know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
but just when I think people also have been giving me a lot more space lately, because I went out recently to a bar here in San Diego and was dancing on the dance floor, and I looked over and these 2 guys were kind of going at it in the corner of the dance floor, and I kind of moved over to where they were behind them, and these 2 guys were just standing there watching them do their thing, and I'm like, I'm here for the entertainment too. And we just started talking back and forth, and my husband comes over and goes, oh, this is my husband Alex. And this guy goes, oh, my name is John. And I'm like, oh, I'm Carlton. And they're like, we know who you are.
Oh,
I have to remember that before I let things out of my mouth first.
If I saw you at a bar, I'd be like your hype man. I'd be like, oh my god, is that Dr. Carlton? Oh my god!
Where's your PR person?
I know, right?
Your PR agent or whatever they are.
Yeah. So really, over the late fall, I did some things like Glue Weekend in Houston. I did a big event in Texas that was Unleashed LGBTQ. And I got to hang out with Billy Eichner and Brian Sims, and we went dancing together. And so here I am on a dance floor with Billy Eichner and Brian Sims, thinking, how did this happen?
Because I'd be like, with Brian Sims, I'd be like, hey.
So he is fine. So we had things like that happen over the holidays. I just kind of didn't do a whole lot. And then...
So I want to actually ask you, before we get too far into it, last year you're going to be empty nesters because your kids were going to go away.
Yeah, that's the other
your life changed?
So that's a great question. So our kids went to college on the East Coast, and I thought I would be so tearful and torn up, and like the first couple of days it was
You're
sad.
like, thank God.
No, at the first couple of days it was sad, and then we kind of got used to them being gone.
They both went at the same time?
Yeah, they're twins. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
one's
right,
in
that's
Boston,
right.
one's in New York.
New York,
Yeah.
I feel like,
New York and
wasn't
Boston.
New York the performing arts school? NYU?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And then, so the other one's in Boston, and we initially thought that we would be sad all the time, but we got quickly used to being empty nesters and being able to walk downstairs naked and get our coffee and
Okay.
And have the pool parties.
and so we did a lot of fun stuff like that, and it was an adjustment when they came home in May to have them home because
For summer, yeah.
suddenly it's like, okay, better put on some clothes, we get coffee now.
Oh, no. You have to use your
You
cat
made that
tan.
mistake once.
But what's
Relevant in college, get used to it.
what's funny is they went away and they came back, and when they came back, immediately they're out the door. They're with their friends,
Right.
hanging out, doing stuff, and it's kind of funny. We started going out as well, and it would be one of those weeks where we wouldn't see them at all during the week, and then on Friday night, our son would say, "Okay, I'm going to stay home tonight and hang out with you guys," and we're like, "Sorry,
You can stay home, but we're out. Peace.
sorry,
Loser.
yeah, sorry, we're going to bear night."
We're sorry you don't have plans on Friday night. We do, though.
God, that's so sad for you.
Don't you have friends? But anyway, so it was kind of a quiet fall and spring, and then my gigs started picking up. I went to Austin Kink and I headlined that again this year, and that was great. I had like 120 people in my butt stuff class.
Oh, wow.
And it was really a great experience, and I met a lot of other people who wanted me to go do stuff for them. And so in September I picked up Wet Oso Weekend in South Padre Island, which is there's a group of bears called the RGV Bears, Rio Grande Valley Bears, who do a yearly bear party in tandem with Bear Mexico on South Padre Island. So they're going to have me come in and do a sexual health talk. But I decided, you know what, guys, if you want me to come, I won't charge my speaker fee. Just give me a place to stay and fly me out, and I took us to all the dance events, and the pool parties.
You do
and
that.
I'll be okay. I'll forgive the fee.
Oh, my God. Just wine and dine me.
I want all the parties in the after parties and the after parties.
Okay, and then also the hotel lobby.
And then
There it is.
And then in the weekend after that, which was crazy, was I taught at a fisting weekend in Dallas.
Oh.
They brought me this fisting weekend brought me in to teach anatomy and safety, and it's obviously pretty hardcore stuff. And I said, why the hell not? And so I came in. They flew me in. They put me up in a hotel and they paid me. So I'm like, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And they had these parties that I would go to at night and just kind of like see what was happening. And so like the night, this is the wine's talking here, but the first night I get there, we go into this big fisting party, and I meet the guy who's flown me out. I'm like, hey, I'm talking about fisting tomorrow, and it's something I've never actually done. And he goes, come over here. I got two guys you could drive a Mack truck through.
Whoa!
Oh, I thought you were going to get fisted. I was
I'm not built for that.
Are you there like commenting on technique to basically be like, here's how you should do this safely?
Yeah.
Like in the parties, like, hey.
No. So they brought me around to learn exactly.
So did you
Really?
actually fist someone?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, how was it? And did you have to wear something?
Yeah, I mean, you can wear something or you cannot wear something. It's totally your choice.
Okay.
But it's safer, obviously, to wear something.
Okay.
But the thing that shocked me the most was the intensity of those guys' orgasms. There is something up around that second hole.
I'm telling you, you got to do your research, girl.
Wait, hold on. The second hole?
So they're like,
Oh,
shaking. And,
I want
and
that.
screaming and flying everywhere.
Oh.
You can say jizz. It's fine. We're R-rated here.
Jizz was flying everywhere. It was crazy.
Really?
Okay.
And
Wait, hold on.
I
What's
was
this?
shocked because I obviously, as a fister, the top, what's it going to do for you? Well, I guess what it does for you is you realize the pleasure that the person.
Right, you're giving someone pleasure that gives you pleasure. But okay, so how far in?
I was just going to ask that.
Well,
Did we get up to the elbow?
Are we talking elbow?
Or shoulder?
somewhere in
Shoulder.
And shoulders easy.
Yeah.
somewhere in between for the guys who are really experienced. But there was one guy who really wanted me in there, and there was just no way I was going to get my hand in there. His bone structure was so tight down there.
Oh, okay.
He just wasn't built for it.
Well, I feel like you are probably the best person to do that because you know the actual physiology of where you're in.
And a lot of people were like seeking me. Hey, I want you to do me because you know what you're doing. And
Right.
Not really.
Well,
But I know the anatomy. And
correct.
I know what not to do.
I'm a little better with a camera up there.
I'm like, this is where you're getting recognized. Stop it up, okay?
So anyway, so it was just a really neat experience, and everybody was attitude free, and they had a great time, and it was a sober event, which I was kind of.
Well, you have to be because it's very consent forward,
and you don't want to get hurt.
Right,
I was just going to say it can be dangerous.
I told this story before, but when I lived in Pittsburgh, I went to a bar, and in the bottom part of this bar, there was an area where they were fisting someone, and it's like, and then I was like, oh, that's really not for me. I got to go back upstairs. And 20 minutes later, an ambulance showed up.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, literally, the lube that you have to use is a special lube that it's like ectoplasm and
Slimer
from Ghostbusters.
Basically, yeah,
from Ghostbusters. Okay,
and if it gets on the floor and you have on boots or something, you can just.
This is what I was wondering about because, I'm pretty sure they're doing this in a hotel conference room.
No, this was a warehouse.
Did you have your non-slip shoes?
This was not Daddyland.
Yeah. Okay,
people were not doing it in the lobby of the hotel.
Oh God, is it something where you're like, I need to have non-slip shoes on?
Yeah.
if that's even possible, because they have plastic all over the floor to keep the floor from getting messed up.
Do people still use? I feel like Jiminy Glick right now. Like, if you've ever seen Martin Short on YouTube, he does this character called Jiminy Glick, and he's an interviewer. And he's like, I feel like Jiminy Glick right now. But do people still use Crisco?
Absolutely. They don't. There's all kinds of different lubes that you can use. I mean, a lot of people over time just figure out what works best for them between Crisco and J-Lube and X-Lube.
Like shortening?
But is
it's
that
greasy?
Is that going to affect your body?
Right.
I mean, you'll poop it out.
For a reason.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean,
it'll help things go through.
You're not going to get a heart attack or anything.
No, right. But I mean, I guess because it would eventually come out of you, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But were there a lot of prolapse buttholes there too? Did you see a lot of that?
Yeah, that's something that I try to tell people not to do because it's just long term not really good for your health. But yeah, some of those holes were pretty worn out.
Oh no!
It looked like a Thursday game.
but then at the same time, there's some guys who are just beautiful guys, and you see them getting fisted, and you look at them, and you can't tell it, because there's such a snapback that happens with the anal.
But do you have to do Kegel exercises after this?
I mean, it would probably help. Yeah.
Yeah, because
back up. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's it obviously retracts, but geez.
Yeah. Are they just all eating ice cubes for a day or two beforehand?
Well, girl, they're on the water diet probably for a week.
Well, it's a process. It's like a 12 to 24 hour process of watching what you eat, cleaning out, and making sure you fast for at least a couple of hours.
They get that colonoscopy juice.
Basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So I did that.
Did you go to Daddyland?
I didn't go to Daddyland.
Okay.
I actually kind of wanted to, but I'm glad I didn't because it got canceled. Because there was some craziness happening in the hotel lobby. I guess some meth head was walking around, and some people were walking around naked, and they didn't have the whole hotel sold out.
Oh, great!
So families are walking around going,
"Okay,
oh, okay."
Hey, so better to learn now.
The hotel said, "Okay." Everybody out. So they kicked all the
the event started and then they canceled it.
They evicted Everybody.
Oh
But
no!
It's crazy that they would have that in Dallas.
Honey, the fisting thing was in Dallas. Texas is crazy. Austin Kink was in Dallas.
It's crazy on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
honestly,
it's very extreme.
This year at Austin Kink was the first time the event had been threatened by anti-trans
Really?
protesters.
In what city? In Dallas?
In Austin.
In Austin? Because that's a big progressive city, right?
Yeah, but there was a guy who got doxxed that was a school teacher who was going to be teaching at the thing, and he was an elementary teacher, and the conservatives found out and got him fired.
No.
In San Antonio.
Wow.
Yeah, so we actually had Veterans for Equality, which is a group of veterans who know how to fight and know how to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And they
Ooh, okay.
came with
Packing heat? Yeah.
black heat to protect us.
Yeah, protected carry. There you go, girl.
Yeah, so this Veterans for Equality group, you can look them up online.
Awesome.
They actually go to all different prides all around the country where there's a threat.
Wow.
I had really.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
As like undercover security almost.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I knew about this, but it says Vets for Equality, and I just thought it meant like
dog and cat.
So they were all. Luckily, nothing happened. They were all there. The weather was kind of terrible, so that kind of helped them from having protests.
Oh,
outside,
right.
So
Because they don't like rain.
they don't like rain. They don't want to melt.
They don't want to rain on me.
Snowflakes.
They will melt.
Yes.
Okay, and you also went to White House Pride again.
Yeah, from fisting to the White House.
She's
Her next book title.
a multi-hyphenate.
Hyphenated,
You know?
yeah.
It's like,
So my life has been really crazy. So out of the blue, like 2 weeks before
that's
White
what I
House
saw.
Pride, I got an invitation from the White House to go to White House Pride again. And I had gone last year.
Yes.
And when I went last year, I sat down with Health and Human Services in their big office with Assistant Secretary Rachel Levine. And we actually talked about my queer healthcare agenda for the United States. And I said, first of all, I think we need to get DoxyPep CDC approved. I think we need to get anal pap smears handled to prevent anal cancer, and especially in the HIV positive population. Yes. I think we need to get better STI testing because people don't know that you got to test where you play. And there's a lot of STIs running around because people aren't getting their throat swabs or their butt swabs, and those things can be positive when their urine test is negative. 2 weeks before I got there, the CDC put the DoxyPep official guidelines up.
oh wow.
And 2 days ago, the anal cancer screening guidelines for anal pap smears for gay men.
Yay.
That's my doctor is a
awesome.
gay doctor, and he's been trying to get that. Like he's been talking about that for years. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's finally up now in the CDC.
That's awesome.
Guidelines. Yeah, so that's Admiral Levine there, but it was. This year there was. Last year I met the president. This year he was preparing for the debate, which you know how that went.
Did she eat?
She did not eat.
She slept.
I was just.
But I love her. It's okay. I love her. You know, I don't care who it is on the blue side. I'm voting that way. Anyway.
Amen.
Because we got to protect our rights this year. That's more than anything. And I know there's no candidate that's perfect, but the other side is just fucking nuts.
Right, yeah.
So we have to really be careful.
Amen.
And so this was my week, though. Monday, I got up. I scoped 10 patients at the hospital. In the afternoon, I had clinic. I was on call. Tuesday, I had 21 colonoscopies at the endoscopy center. I went home and I packed. I went to the airport. I took a red eye to Atlanta. And then in the morning, I flew from Atlanta to Washington. Got to Washington, got to my hotel at 10 o'clock in the morning. They said, you can't check in until 4 o'clock.
Oh my God, no! I was going to say
If you're with Paul, you're going to be
And
able to check in at 10 a.m.
I had changed. I mean, I had slept like 45 minutes the entire time. I changed into a suit in their bathroom in the lobby, and I went to Health and Human Services. I sat down with them again to talk about more stuff, and came back to the hotel, changed, went to the White House, stayed there till 9 o'clock or so.
At night?
And then came back to the hotel at 9:30, had to be up at 3:30 in the morning to take a flight back to San Diego, was at the LGBT Luminaries lunch for the center at the Hilton in San Diego at 11:30 on Thursday morning, and had clinic on Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Did a full day of endoscopy on Friday, and then was on call for 2 hospitals, had 13 emergencies in those 2 hospitals, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then Saturday at midnight, I hosted a wet underwear contest for the slaughter camp.
And when did you sleep on all this?
Honey, luckily I'm a doctor who's used to not sleeping from being on call all the time and being in training and stuff.
I was just going to ask,
one of those
like,
old
that's...
school doctors who had to stay up all the time. So I just basically didn't sleep.
What? 13 emergencies for a gastroenterologist happened.
And how many things got stuck up the booty?
I know.
Vomiting blood, pooping blood,
Oh, so
ulcer,
you get those
bleeds,
kind of calls. Okay.
rectal
Race car,
cancer,
little mini race
anal
car stuck up the
cancer,
butt.
all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, no, it was just go the entire week. But yeah, so that was a week in my life.
Wow.
That sounds super relaxed.
Yeah, so relaxed. Yeah,
And you still were able to like get your
and I
content out.
and I had to also come home and help do chores and see the kids and
He closed all his drinks.
Okay, so I have some questions for you. I want to get
Let's
into
go for
like
it. Yeah, let's
I
go
want to
for
get into gastroenterology and butt stuff.
Real quick. So people I met at the White House this year, I spent a lot of time with Cody Rigsby from Peloton.
Okay.
Yeah.
We basically laughed and talked about how this was the 85th time we had seen Deborah Cox at a Pride. And how we wished that Chapel Rowan, who was invited to the White House but turned it down.
But turned it down because
of issues.
Yeah.
And that was a smart move because that's a hot button issue right now.
Oh, I didn't know what happened.
We'll
go offline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Billy Porter.
Okay.
Who was cracking me up. He was like, okay, baby, serve. You got to serve to get in this picture. You better serve. Serve, queen. He was cool, but he was really good. He's a good businessman because he was like, okay, to get a picture with me, you have to download my album.
Oh.
To other people, not to me. Because everybody started flooding him, and he's like, oh, yeah. Download my album or you can't have a picture.
Download it on what? Spotify?
Smart.
On Apple Music? Oh, yeah, I have it,
Yeah, but
it's here.
It was worth it for sure. And then,
Britta Filter,
Britta Filter,
yeah.
I hung out with her.
How was Britta Filter?
She's awesome, and she does a lot of work for the Democratic Party.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like she got painted very poorly on her season, and after that, she's like a super big activist in the community.
Huge, yeah. She actually, I run into her at so many different places.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of weird now. Like I go to all these huge like national pride events, and I'm like, I keep running into the same people everywhere
Like
I go.
Deborah Cox.
But wait a minute. But I'm like, wait a minute. I'm here too.
Yeah, they're like, we keep running into Dr. Carlton. And just so everybody knows, it's Admiral Levine, not Avril Levine. I know it's complicated.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. And then let's talk about your questions.
Okay, so I texted you about this already, but like I want to talk about like Ozempic, gay men and gay sex, and do people have to think about that when they're taking Ozempic differently?
Well, that's a great question. A lot of people don't realize how Ozempic works. Ozempic is a new weight loss drug, but also a diabetes drug. What it basically does is it paralyzes your stomach, so you don't feel like you want to eat.
And it's not just Ozempic; it's like Wegovy,
Mounjaro, all those drugs.
Of them.
Yeah. They basically paralyze your stomach, so you feel full and you don't want to eat. So a lot of people get a lot of heartburn because the food doesn't go down; it just sits there. A lot of people get nausea and vomiting.
Oh, really?
A lot of people get diarrhea and like gassiness from below and constipation. So it can definitely throw off your GI symptoms. Actually, I have a lot of consults in my office for people who've been on these medications not understanding why their heartburn is suddenly so bad, or why they're vomiting so much, or why they're having gastrointestinal issues,
or why they haven't pooped for a week.
Yeah. So
for real?
Yeah. So it definitely can alter your gastrointestinal function, thereby altering your sex life if you're a bottom. You know.
What are your tips then for folks who may be on it?
I think just learn to know how your body reacts to things, avoid your triggers, and just kind of manage your clean out process the best you can. I think after a few weeks, or 4 to 6 weeks, things kind of settle out a little bit, so you can kind of get a better handle on your body gets a little bit more used to it. But I've seen a lot of people who just can't tolerate it.
Really? Interesting. I don't think those are things they don't talk about.
No, and it seems like 50% of the people that go on it do fantastic and lose a bunch of weight and look great and feel great, and the other half just cannot tolerate it.
Wow, 50%.
And if I know someone who is on it, but they still haven't lost a lot of weight because when you get on the medication, you also you have to change your diet. Like you have to you're taking smaller bites because you're supposed to be fuller, but they still eat the way that they ate before, and I don't understand how that's possible because you're not processing your food you're supposed to.
Another thing in the beginning is that you start off at a very low dose to make sure your body tolerates it, because you don't want to start at the maximum dose. So it takes a while for you to
build up.
To
Interesting.
Yeah, I have a friend who's on it now, and he's lost about 20 pounds, but over the course of 10 weeks. So,
Right.
It's taking some time.
But you are seeing a lot of people. You said you see a lot of people who just don't understand some of these side effects that come with it. So you have to take that into consideration.
Exactly. Yeah. So people don't realize that the reason you lose weight is because it really screws up your GI tract.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, I was I wanted to for some reason I thought about that. I was I wonder if that affects gay sex.
Well, no, I wouldn't even. Honestly, I wouldn't even have thought about that because it didn't even register to me, but it definitely does.
And you know what made me think of it is for some reason, I don't know why, but I was thinking about this one guy that I was with, and we were back at my apartment. This is when I was in Orlando, and we had dinner at Carrabba's.
Isn't that the Italian place?
Yeah, the Italian place.
That's a lot of food.
They write on the thing.
Huh?
They write on the
right, yeah. And then I was fingering him, but I could feel something in there.
It's almost like you were not at the Golden Nugget in Vegas.
A butt nugget.
That's a dingleberry. It's a sacred fruit.
So the other question is, so Mpox we're seeing more cases.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a little bit of there's a smoldering happening out there. There was 3 cases, I think, in San Diego 2 weeks ago, and then last week there were 5.
Okay.
And in New York City, there was a little bit of a spike earlier in the year. You have to realize that in 2022, we had over 32,000 cases.
Yeah.
In 2023, we had 333 cases.
Wow.
It got batted down pretty nicely. But then there was another spike that happened at the beginning of this year. In the first 4 months of the year, there were already over 1,200 cases. A lot of the vast majority of overall cases, over 99%, are in people who never got vaccinated.
Okay.
Or only got 1 shot.
Okay.
But there are people who've had 2 shots that are getting a milder version of the Mpox infection. When I was in Washington, D.C., and a lot of my followers, hey, when do we get a booster? And I'm all for that, to be honest. Yeah. I spoke to the new lead for the Mpox team at the White House, and she said, what do you think? And I said, I think we need a 3rd shot. And she goes, I think you guys do too.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, why don't you make that happen?
Right.
And so I still haven't heard anything.
Get on it, girl.
But I've been pushing Health and Human Services and the Mpox coordinator to please get us a 3rd shot.
Look, I'm going to be like Hamilton up in here. I'm going to take my shot.
Why is it so hard to get that out? Is it because the makers of the drug, or
the official recommendation is only 2 shots.
So they have to change their
and we've
guidelines.
never really faced a scenario like this where it's a sexual spread of things. So, and then what's really scaring people is it's not here yet, but in Africa there's a different variant that is a lot more virulent.
Oh,
and
great!
The death rate on that is about 4.5% compared to 1%,
right?
From the one we
had. That's 4 times, yeah.
So people are kind of freaked out about that, and it's still happening. I mean, 3 to 5 cases over a couple of weeks here in San Diego. It's still out there. So if you haven't gotten your shot, go to myturn.gov. You can get shots there. If you've only had 1 shot, make sure you get your 2nd shot. If you've had no shots, get both of them if you're at risk. Generally, I still think it's more of a non-monogamous, unprotected sexual play thing.
I was going to ask, if you're at risk, what are the risk factors again?
It basically, I think it's like any STI.
Oh.
Yeah. There is a potential if you rub up against someone who has open sores that can spread it. But, and there's even theoretical spread through, towels and linens and things like that. But I mean, really the
Right.
most, people are getting on their assholes and on their dicks and then in their mouth. So it's clearly an STI.
So clearly,
It's the
Unless they're
fisting.
sucking on that bedsheet really hard.
Hey, maybe people are into bedsheet sucking. You never know. Don't take them to a
they gotta
hotel.
get every little bit that they can out.
That's
so
the
I think-
dirtiest damn towel I've ever
Yeah, I think we need a third shot, whether or not that happens anytime soon. And sometimes the record keeping for the shots wasn't that great, so you could probably just get one if you want.
Well, I was going to ask, because if the guideline, like, you can't go against the guidelines as a medical practitioner,
Right.
correct? So
Right.
if they haven't changed anything, I mean, obviously there's off-label use and everything, but like, you have to be doing what they recommend.
And I think the most at-risk people are people who are HIV positive.
Okay.
Those are the ones I'm more concerned about.
Yeah.
People with weakened immune systems for whatever other reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did our Mpox vaccine in a bar. I don't think they kept any records at all.
and exactly. So and a lot of people didn't keep records.
But a lot of people coming out of COVID have this paranoia about vaccines, even if it's just way back in their mind. Like too many vaccines will give you the disease or nonsense like that.
Yeah, and that's nonsense.
Dose me up, bitch.
Yeah, but a lot of people's antibody levels drop over time, and
Yeah.
so your susceptibility increases with the lower antibody.
Well,
level. Depending on how much you play. In the outbreak in Chicago last year in April, they had a spike of about 40 cases, but the vaccine is like 89% effective. But if you fuck 100 guys at a party, if you take 100 loads at a party, then your chances are going to be up there, right?
Yeah,
And I'm not
89.
judging that.
Yeah, you have
You take as
11.
many
There's
loads as you
11
want.
loads that could be dangerous. Math.
You are a
It's gay math.
You are a laundromat. You take as many loads as you think you can, girl. Okay.
No shade.
Okay, so I know you have this on your Instagram. So give us your tips for tops and your bullet points for bottoms.
Tips for tops.
You like how I gave that up on my
I like
own?
that.
I know you got tips for tops, but bullet points for bottoms.
With tips for tops, the biggest thing is making sure that a bottom is relaxed enough to be able to receive. So don't just jam it in there.
Never jam.
That's gonna just, if you just ram it in there, you can tear somebody's bowl, and your play date's over. So
100%.
I tell people to use my butt clock technique, where you slide your finger in, you press over laterally up against the wall at the different clock positions, like 3, 6, 9, and 12. And hold for about 15 to 30 seconds, and that tiny little hole starts opening up so that someone can receive better. Use lots of silicone lube for penis play in an anus. If you're going to use toys, water-based lube is usually the best way to go. Opening up with a gradually increasing girth dildo is great. I've got one from Dr. Skin that the tip of it's really, really small, and as you go down the shaft, it gets girthier and girthier. So as it slides in, you open up. Just by
Almost like a butt plug?
yeah, but it's just like one of those things where as you go in, it gets wider and wider and wider and wider, so that you're able to open up better. For tops as well, visual and verbal cues. If your bottom looks like they're not having a good time, you need to change something. Or if they're crying or screaming in a bad way,
Yeah, because they could be crying and screaming in a good way too.
Well, that could be crying of joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever cried.
Just look at cues and see what's going on with them. If your bottom wants to finish, great. Let them finish.
Yeah.
But if a lot of bottoms just want your load, they don't. That's their trophy. So you have that conversation. Hey, do you want to come? And if they want to come, make sure they come too. For bottoms, I think starting on top, in addition to the butt clock stuff and the lubrication and breathing and pushing out a little as it goes in, I think starting on top is a good way to get acclimated. Those first couple of minutes of bottoming can be pretty harrowing. So if you just slide down slowly on that dick, it sort of opens your hole so that you're able to relax and finally be able to let the top take over.
And you control it.
And you control, that way you don't get hurt.
Yep.
And I think that's really, really, really key. As far as getting ready for sex, the clean out process is don't overdo it. Don't put too much water up in there, because the more you flood up in there, the messier it gets and the harder it can be to get clean. Fiber supplements are huge in decreasing your clean out time process. And I like to use as far as preparing to open up, I like the dipstick test. So you take that dildo, you lube it up really well, you slide it in, it serves multiple purposes. Number one, it opens you up. Number two, it lubricates you.
Yep.
Number three, if you pull it out and it's got poop on it, you got some more work to do. So there's a lot of good stuff that comes.
I say poop just comes with it. So
and I think that I was just gonna say, when you're in a and when you've been with someone for a minute, it just doo-doo comes to the territory.
It comes with the territory all the time. But I mean, there are certain situations where you want to minimize that as much as possible.
Right. Maybe first date, you want to be clean, majestic. You don't want people to know your dirty laundry.
In the fisting workshop, you don't want that either.
No.
Yeah.
So just to plug my own stuff for a second.
Yes, please go right ahead.
Plug your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So D'Angelo Bonilla and I and Tony Bejarano have started a podcast now called But Honestly. The debut was yesterday. Our first episode was called Butt Clocks and Hole Talks.
Ooh.
And the first episode was just getting to know each other a little bit and telling people who we are. And then we started taking questions that people have about sex. And it's an advice podcast for sex, socializing, love, and butt stuff for gay men, aimed at gay men. So far, already in one day, we've gotten feedback from Carson Kressley, from Sean T. People have sent me multiple different, messages of support. It's really exciting. We're starting off with just us for the first 2 or 3 episodes, then we're going to start having guests on.
Okay.
Luckily, with all the different people that D'Angelo knows, and then I know through social media and stuff, we've got some pretty exciting people lined up. So.
Oh, awesome!
Is it in person or do you virtually do it?
We're doing it in person right now.
Nice.
And
okay.
then when the guests start happening, it's probably going to start doing some Zoom type material just to be able to get more people involved.
Nice.
It's distributed by MSW Media and the folks who do Muller, She Wrote and Daily Beans and stuff like that. And we're just really blessed to have Tony with us, who has his own podcast, who invited her podcast, and who's done the editing and all the technical stuff. So I just show up and talk, which is great.
Same girl.
So it's an exciting. It's called But Honestly. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple and wherever you get podcasts.
What's your favorite part so far about starting your own podcast?
I gotta say that the biggest thing has been learning how much work goes into podcasting. People don't understand the time commitment and the amount of effort that you have to put in. So we just finished our first podcast, and I remember being part of one of your guys, like I think it was 100 or 150 or 200 or something like that, and thinking, holy shit. Now I'm thinking, holy shit, how do these guys get through the work these guys put in to get through this many podcasts? It's just crazy. And you have full-time jobs.
Tony,
girl, you did 13 emergencies. You went to the White House. You recorded this.
You saw
you did
so many
this.
assholes.
Right.
And butts.
And those are just the protesters outside.
Okay, one last thing before we go and you plug your socials.
But plug your socials.
What about bidets?
Huge fan of bidets, and I just use yours, thank you. Yeah, that's why I was in there for a little extra.
Did you use the drying feature?
I didn't on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I went ahead. Yeah.
So, a good tip: if you hit the spray thing twice, it
does.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So, huge fan of bidets, especially guys with hairy holes. I mean, I've got guys that I see in clinic, and when I go to do their colonoscopy, they have so much hair back there. It's like, how do you wipe your ass?
Yeah.
Like some of these guys, especially like Middle Eastern guys, it's like combing peanut butter through the carpet.
That's a great visual. You know what? That's funny. I had a guy I worked with, and he was like, think about it. Like, because he wouldn't get his butt waxed, and he's like, think about it, Joe. Would you rather pick up spilled ice cream on grass or on a marble countertop? And I was like, okay. I see you, girl.
Well, yeah, and I've had my asshole waxed before. And
Same have I. Yeah,
it's not a bad experience.
You can't hide your farts though, because it sounds like you shit your pants.
Right, exactly.
They are wet
They're
and
wet
loud,
and they're not muffled. muffled anymore.
No, and you release it, and it's like, no.
Like seriously, it's like.
Yes.
And it's like, you're like, did I just shat myself?
It's like when you put the thing inside the trumpet. It's not
But because there's no, you're right, there's no muffling, so it is just like skin on skin clapping.
Yeah.
I recommend it though. It's a fun sound.
Yeah. So for guys with hairy holes, definitely wipes are a bad thing because they have a lot of chemicals in them. They can irritate your butt.
Wait, what kind of wipes?
I think any butt wipes.
The flushable wipes?
And those are really bad for the environment too, in my opinion. I think they clog a lot of sewers and toilets and.
See, we have both. We have a bidet and flushable wipes.
I agree with you because flushable doesn't mean biodegradable.
Exactly.
It just means you can flush it.
Right, exactly.
Thank you so much.
So anyway, another big thing about hairy holes and like itchy holes and stuff like that. There's a product that I'm not paid to endorse this at all, but there's a shower oil called Atoderm from Bioderma that I discovered that you can buy it at Target. Even it's just a little dab on there when you do your shower instead of using soap.
Okay.
Totally re-moisturizes everything. It's not itchy. It's not.
Interesting.
Sickly. It's amazing.
Is it conditioned for your butthole hair?
I think so. I think
Who
it's great.
knew?
It's ATODE.
I thought you were going to recommend preparation H.
Atoderm shower oil. That's right there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's expensive, but it lasts for like a year.
Bioderma is a great brand though for skin health. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So socially, I'm on Instagram and TikTok at Dr. Carlton, all spelled out DoctorCarlton. My Threads is also Dr. Carlton. My Twitter is Dr._Carlton, and our new podcast, But Honestly, you can find it anywhere you get podcasts. So please tune into us. It's a lot of butt stuff, a lot of humor, some salacious stories.
Ooh, salacious.
And soon there will be some really cool guests.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Carlton.
Thank you for having me
We love
back.
having you.
I love being with you guys.
Multi-hyphenated. What did you say?
Multi-hyphenated, amazing, kind person, Dr. Carlton.
Yeah.
He's got a dash. All right. Well, have a great week, everyone. Thanks.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to These Unprecedented Gays. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and join us next time as we continue exploring the ever-changing landscape of queer life. Until then, stay proud, stay fierce, and stay unprecedented.